Hey, what's going on, Evolved community? Hope you guys are doing amazing. Thank you so much for being here and listening in. I'm going to try to do this in one take. We got some mindset coming at you for today. There was an overwhelming response. By overwhelming, I mean a few people asking for mindset content. So here it is. I'll dive right in. So the title of today's video is Playing on Offense, Not Defense. So what that really means is getting clear on my mindset for the day, or in your case, your mindset for the day, and setting your mind right. Now, quick story from me. For me, as I'm sure is quite common in, nowadays, is what I used to do every single morning, which would be to wake up, pee, doom scroll, I'd have my coffee, and then I'd rush out the door. And I was playing catch up all day. It would be like, okay, so I started my day, woke up quickly, okay, well, I don't have time for breakfast. I'm gonna go get my coffee and just run out the door. Get to class, start my day, but now I'm catching up throughout the day. I'm not starting my day with intention. And it felt like I was just playing catch up, okay, so I'm starting my day and I'm going throughout it instead of starting my day with intention and starting on top. At the end of the day, I would kind of just feel like shit. Okay, some days it would be a good day, some days it would be a bad day. I would be hoping instead of actually making something happen. And so now I wake up, what I do is I put on a reprogramming headset, affirmations, while my brain is still kind of in that dreamy, drowsy theta state. And then after that, I drink my coffee and read, I journal, and I'm really looking to just get a nice headspace for the day. Okay, get a pulse on the day. How's Aaron feeling? What are some of the challenges Aaron's going through right now? What are some of the things that, Aaron, me, has to work through? And there's some things, because life happens, we're not robots, and so it can be kind of helpful sometimes to just journal stuff out. But ultimately, it is imperative that I found it's so crucial that we start with our result. We start with, what did I intend for my New Year's resolution, or what did I intend for my ultimate goal, the thing that I want most of all? So I'm going to decide to remember it so that way I'm not forgetting it. And so that's kind of the first start. That's what I used to do. That's where I've found can be helpful. But what I'm doing now is getting a headspace, right? So after I get my headspace, that was life-changing to start my day like that. When I made the commitment to do that, absolutely shifted my life. And so now I can attack work. Right after I do that, I just dive into work, and I'm on top of it. I'm not on the bottom. I'm not playing defense. I'm not playing small. I'm actually playing offense. I'm attacking. And so that way I can get some momentum, right? And so a couple things here. I'm going to share with you a quick mindset, behavior, and identity shift that helps me. I'll go through these really nice and brief. And so the mindset is that you got to believe that you have agency over your own life. You got to believe that you have some sort of control and power over your own life. Because otherwise, if you don't take control of your life, somebody else 100% will. You got to believe more. This number 2. You got to believe more in your future than you do in your past. I'm going to let that one simmer. I actually got that one from my guy, one of my favorite authors and people in academia right now. His name's Dr. Joe Dispenza. He shares, you got to believe more in your future than you are in your past. Because if we're constantly focusing on our past and believing that our past is going to be our future, guess what we're going to get? We're going to get the same, you guessed it, we're going to get the same thing, same results over and over and over again. And so you got to believe in your future more than you do your past. Believe in your unlimited self. Believe in your healthy self. Believe in your abundant self. Believe in your authentic self. Believe in that person who's has the social skills, or really good at relationships, right? You got to believe more in your future than you are believing in your past, because otherwise your past is going to repeat itself. Now let's talk about behaviors. Let's talk about tools and things we can actually do. Okay? The behavior that you're going to want to do to really make this stick, you're going to want to choose just one win. Now, why do I say that? Well, you could do a bajillion things, and I'm sure as an overachiever you do normally, but you're going to want to just choose one. Choose a mental win, a physical win, an accountability win, or a spiritual win. I got that from my guy. I think his name's Jun Ya or something. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, but he's on Instagram. I could reference him more, but it's called Jun's 4 Wins if you look it up. He's probably on all over Instagram. It's a good hashtag as well. That being said though, choose one win. So for me in the story, I was wondering what am I doing every day and playing life on defense until I decided to show up every single morning to reprogram my mind. I chose every single morning to wake up and meditate. That was the one thing I had to do in that day. And if I did that one thing, that was a keystone habit. And if I did that one thing, it didn't matter if the rest of the day went to shit, that day was a win. Instead of looking back and being like, oh, I hope it's going to be a good day. I hope we're going to have a good time. This was a way to create predictability in my life. And finally, identity. You're going to want to align with your desired self. You must become that person. And so if there's anything, and there's a tool I'm going to say after this, if you stick around to the end. If there's one thing that I can share with you, one nugget from this whole video, it's that you have to choose before you see anything else, before you start reacting to your familiar environment, before you see the same familiar people, you eat the same familiar breakfast, you have the same familiar coffee, you scroll on the same exact familiar device. What you want to do before that is ask, who is my highest ideal version of myself, and how can I act as if I was that person right now? And when you choose to show up that way, when you choose to become that person right now, regardless, and you do that first thing in the morning, if it took you 4 hours in the morning, if you had to wake up 4 hours earlier so that you could switch your brain on and get your mindset right so that you're that person, the day would have been a win. Trust me when I say the day would have been a win. You ask yourself, would the day be a win if I decided to become my best self? Otherwise, sure, there's a lot of activity and you can grind and you can do all those things, but unless you're actually moving towards a goal and moving the needle, you're just on a treadmill over and over and over and over again, and nothing changes. You don't change. Jim Rohn has a quote that I don't want to botch here. It's nothing changes until you change. Okay, this is the quote he says, "For things to change, you must change." And so the final piece I want to give to you is a tool, because we've talked about strategy, we've talked about philosophy, and a story to really share with you why that's the way it is. In my own life, from my experience, the tool I'm going to give you is a habit tracker. Now hear me out, because I'm sure you've maybe tried habit trackers in the past. Do this. Go on Google Sheets, create a habit spreadsheet, and just put in one habit that you will do for the next 21 days. First thing in the morning, it could be brush your teeth, it could be shower, it could be meditate, it could be journal, it could be call your best friend. I don't care. But whatever you're gonna do the same thing every single day. Watch yourself stack your wins, and your life's gonna completely change. Thank you so much for listening today. Don't be perfect. shoot for progress. I love you so much, and remember the time is now, my friends. Stay peace.